Welcome back to the show, the eternal show. We're never gonna die. We're gonna live forever. It's December and it's almost winter holidays, and then we decorated for Christmas yesterday, and I got a sewing machine that I haven't set up yet. And Mike is wearing a Captain America shirt and holding a rollerball thing and stuff. Not our best entrance.
It didn't help that as the video was playing, I was like, hey, let's discuss something kind of really important to the future of this, but not right now.
I'll tell you why. Welcome to AAWY, the And Also With You podcast from Affable Idiots. That's us. Plus one other who's not here with us. He's at home. Every week, join us and all your other lifelong friends as we laugh together. Share secrets. I don't know, do I have any secrets? Oh, I started using a pumice stone and something that's supposed to moisturize and sort of like exfoliate my heels because the cracks in my heels were so bad I was bleeding.
Ew, Jesse. Ew. You know what you should do? You should get, I did this last year. You should get these little booties. They have these little plastic booties and they're filled with some kind of weird shit. And you soak your feet for 15 minutes just in hot water, and then you put on these booties and then you tape them up onto your foot and you leave them on there for an hour. And then you take them off, rinse off your feet, and you're totally fine and nothing happens for 4 days. And then after 4 days, like entire sheets of skin start falling off of your feet. And then your feet are just like brand new babies underneath.
That's so gross.
Yep.
Well, this is really helped a lot.
Good.
Like I'll put this stuff on, and then I pumised my feet.
Pause, please.
Did you stop recording?
No, I did not stop recording. But Logic was asking me a question. I wanted to make sure that it was still recording. Okay, we're good.
Hot. So yeah, now I pumice my feet in the shower every 2 days. And
Okay.
And then, because I was reading, pumices are gentler on the feet than the pet egg, so I'm doing that. And then I'm putting that extra special, like, prescription strength thing on my heels and, like, rough parts of my feet. And then I've got a nice Gold Bond foot cream. I've been doing that every 2 days as well. And then I have a Gold Bond foot cream I do on my off days. So I'm going to get nice feet, hopefully, because I don't know why my feet are so dry.
About my foot health?
Yeah, tell me.
I lotion up my feet about once every 4 or 5 days with Aveeno Daily Moisturizing Lotion.
Nice.
I moisture, put it in a sock, leave the sock on all day long. And I do this. Yeah. So here's my problem. I don't have like bleeding, dry, cracky feet like you do. I have giant calluses. Mostly developed from tap dancing. And I haven't tap danced in, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, but they're still there.
Yeah.
So put all that on there. But I have this big old callus right on the middle of the ball of my foot.
I've got those there too.
Yep.
Probably not as big as yours, but
I lotion them up. And I do that a few times, maybe twice a week, 1.5 times a week. And then about once a month, I got myself a little foot bath. And I got some bath salts, not the kind that you eat and go crazy.
And then eat people.
Yeah, and then eat people. But no, I do that. Hot water, sit down, play some video games, let my feet soak for about an hour, and then I pet egg them afterwards. And then I do the, whatever the sand, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat.
Oh,
whatever the sandpaper is on the bottom of the pet egg, then I do that.
Yeah.
A lot of the little skin, and then it's like having, again, little babies on my feet.
I love it. Because I used to do my pet egg whenever I'd get out, and then I'd use the exfoliant thing to sort of smooth it all out. But then it wasn't like helping me much. It was like getting rid of a bunch of the skin. Yeah. But oftentimes it would go in too much, and then it would hurt me. Like I would hurt walking the next few days. Like I would just do it too much. Or it could have also had to do with the fact that my heels are just so dry and cracked. It just was too much. But like I would have been noticing for several days that my left foot, it hurt in my heel when I would walk. And so finally I sat and I looked, and it was just like dry. It was dried blood there. I was like, oh my gosh. So for a couple of days, before I started this new thing, I just put Neosporin on it and covered it with a Band-Aid, and then that healed up and stopped hurting. So then I was like, all right, cool, I can do this now. But the pumicing, just doing it in the shower, it's great. I hate the look of a pumice stone. It really messes with my trypophobia.
Yeah, because it's all porous. I had a pumice stone for something hanging in my shower when we lived together. Oh,
you did?
It was for my calluses on my hands from CrossFit.
On your hands. Yep. They're great. They're great for your feet, too. And you can do that a couple times a week. And it just keeps it good maintenance. I love it. And then they say you should wash it after every use. So once I'm done, I get some soap in my hands.
Boil it?
Not according to the directions that I saw.
Oh.
It just said to soap it. It said to wash it before you used it, and then after. But I guess I should look into that because maybe. So every time I use it, I rinse it all off, obviously. Then I put some soap in my hands, rub it together, pick the thing up in my hands, and go like this. Because you got to get it sudsy because it's got a bunch of holes in it. Otherwise, the soap just goes into the holes, and then you can't suds it. So that's been good. And it's just been really helpful. And then, I put socks on after I put this stuff on my feet. And then I try to sleep in it, but I'm like, I can't. I can't sleep in socks. I just can't. So then I eventually kick them off.
Oh, that's right. You're a night showerer. I forgot.
Yep. So, I do it at night before right as soon as I get out of the shower. And we've seen some improvements.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Feels good. On the whole.
So that was Share Secrets.
That was it. Isn't that great how that happens? Okay. Yeah, we share secrets and we also strengthen our friendships. On this
bonding over foot care.
On this off-color, Mr. Rogers Ask Show. I'm one of your hosts. If you don't all know me already, get the fuck out. I'm just kidding. I'm Jesse Neal.
And I'm AKA, Chad Michael Innes.
AKA your parents. We're your parents now. And, so it's the two of us.
Jesse Neal and both of your parents.
You're going to boarding school.
Boarding school.
Look at you. You put glasses on. Now you're
I know. I put glasses on. I wore contacts all day yesterday, and then I was just glued to the TV until 1 a.m. playing Destiny with Matt and Dallas. And my contacts were literally falling out of my eyeballs. And I was like, stay in.
You got to be careful about that. That's how my eyes started to shed. Remember after Trump got elected? Do you remember? It started the night he got elected 4 years ago. My eyes started hurting, and I kept wearing my contacts. I was like, I don't know, my eyes really hurt. Everything's blurry. I finally went to the doctor, and they said I had severe dry eye, and it was shedding.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's why I wear my glasses all the time now. I'm too scared to wear contacts much anymore. So don't wear them too long, or your eyes could literally fall out of your head.
Yeah, but I mean, I wear my contacts one day every 7 weeks.
Oh, that's fair then. That's okay.
And then I wear my glasses basically right now, and then when I first got them.
I like those. When did you get these? You've had these for a little while, right?
I got these shortly after I first moved to California, so maybe about 18 months.
Oh, it's an 18-month-old baby. It's starting to walk. Well, anyways, it's the two of us and all you other lifelong friends listening and watching across the globe. Now I have a frog in my throat, but no bird. I'm so happy to be here with all of you.
And also with you.
Mike, I'm going to start today by asking you a question.
Okay.
And I want you to answer me honestly.
Only.
What's your earwax situation like?
Oh, I like that you asked that question. We've talked about foot care today, and then we're going to dive into ear care as well, because those are the two most attractive parts of the body. That's why people like sucking on toes, and they like it when you nibble their ear. See? Sexiest parts of the body.
Some people really do like sucking on toes, though.
Yeah, but they also like when you suck on their genitals. But let's start with ears. So here's my earwax situation. I don't have a lot of earwax.
That's good.
Generally, I don't think that I'm particularly a waxy person on the ear side. I have a routine. I guess it's a routine. Every time I get out of the shower, when my earwax is moist and hot and and ready for primed for Q-tipping. I put that little Q-tip in there and I squiggle it. I do it all around. I don't know if you can see me. I do it all around the little grooves in here in the outside of the ear. And then I put it in a little bit and I start twisting it as I burrow deeper into the ear so that I kind of collect that instead of just pushing it in.
Yeah, yep.
And
they say
I know
you're
not supposed to use Q-tips in your ear. I know, because it's easy to like pierce your eardrum, but also like I know what it feels like when, or push it further in and just compact it in there. But yeah, I'm not your average human. I'm pretty smart. So I do that on one side, and then I take the other clean side of the Q-tip, do that on the other ear. And then on my AirPods, which, working from home, I wear probably like 7 or 8 hours a day at least.
Same, yeah.
They have the little silicone tips because they're the AirPods Pro. And about once a week, I take the Q-tip around the inside of that, wipe that out, go scoot on the bottom of it right here because somehow that gets earwax on it too.
It's weird.
And then I clean out the case.
I love it. I'm also not super waxy, but unlike you, I use one Q-tip per ear.
Ooh,
so
you double dip.
I'll use one side and I go in, and I don't go in very far because I don't really have wax issues either. But like I'll go, in a little bit, kind of, and I do the twisting. So and I go make sure I'm on the side and I'm not just like in there. I'm like up against the skin, right. And then I come out sexually.
I think you come out not sexually, but like to the world personally.
No, sexually, personally to the world. I just do it with all my dicks out. And then I flip it and I use the other side. And I get like in my conch, just to get that really dry. Because that drives me nuts when there's water hanging out in there. And then I get the folds. Because there's usually not wax in the conch part. That's why I get that first on the clean side. It's usually just water that I'm getting. And then there's, weird shit up in there. Sometimes I got conditioner all up in there. Like I get out of the shower and I look, I'm like, how is all the folds of my ear? How are they full of conditioner?
You're just not good at putting your head underwater.
I rinse my head out really great. And I guess it just gets into my ears because I've got long hair or whatever. Almost every day I get out of the shower. I'm like, Jessica, come on.
You call yourself by your Christian name. You look yourself up in that database of Christian names that you mentioned.
The database. The history archives.
The history archives of Christian names.
Christian names. Oh, yummy. So I'm glad to know that we both have good foot and ear care happening in our lives right now.
Right.
That's really important. Self-care.
Yeah, self-care.
Now, we're going to move on. What do you say we have some healthy competition?
Ooh, I like a good healthy competition. That's me popping champagne for our game. Just kidding, it's water out of a blender bottle.
So stupid. The way you've done your lips. Oh, yes, a blender bottle. Anyways, last week we played WAP Buffet Jeopardy. And I didn't
yes, we did.
I did okay. I think I did best on the Thanksgiving, but I did okay. I feel good about how I fared. And this week, we're going to play a game called Grindcore Band, Dungeons and Dragons Spell, or some shit I made up.
Very good. Very good.
Are you familiar with what Grindcore is?
I'm not familiar. Please explain.
Well, it's terrible, in my opinion.
Is it music? Is that what it is?
Yes. Okay. But some of our listeners might like it. My boyfriend likes it. He came up with this game. So Grindcore, according to him, is between hardcore and heavy metal. They scream. Okay. It's really bad.
Okay.
I'm sorry if you like it and I'm just trash talking your music, but them's the breaks. So we have 7 levels.
Oh, sounds like rounds, Scientology.
7 rounds.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read them to you, and you tell me which one is the Grindcore Band name, which one is the Dungeons and Dragons spell, and which one is some shit I made up.
Okay, so there's one of each in every level. Okay.
Exactly. And for some of these, the some shit I made up might be a real thing, but it's not a Dungeons and Dragons spell or a grindcore band.
Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm very familiar with Dungeons and Dragons spells.
Are you?
So I might be very good at this game.
I knew you played. I didn't know how well you'd know them, but...
Well, the thing is, I've played Dungeons and Dragons one time. But... Dungeons and Dragons is the, but I studied it. No, Dungeons and Dragons is the basis of a lot of role-playing games and video games. So
okay.
I've been around the block.
You slut. I'm just kidding. That's not feminist, but you slut.
It's not feminist to call a boy a slut.
I have an itchy right inside my nose. Oh, yeah.
Oh, get a Q-tip. Both sides.
Get both sides right in the nose. All right, are you ready for level round one?
I put a Q-tip in my nose every week for COVID.
Yeah, I don't. The one time I've been tested for it, they didn't even put it in my nose.
Where did they put it?
My back of my throat.
Oh.
I know. I don't know. It's gross. Sorry, for those of you not watching, Mike just tried to be sexy, taking a sip of water, and then probably purposefully let it spill out.
I accomplished my sexy goal, and I feel like I'm wetter than I've ever been in my life.
Baby, it's
the water
better
dripping
down
out of my mouth,
where it's
that is.
better. Take it from me. That's from Ariel, the Little Mermaid. Okay. Round one.
Yes.
The Dillinger Escape Plan. Brutal Sunday School. Abi Delzim's Horrid Wilting.
How do you spell Abi Delzim?
Adele Dazim. That's what it makes me think of. It's ABI-DALZIMS.
Okay, can you read all three again?
Yes.
Okay.
The Dillinger Escape Plan.
Okay, the Dillinger Escape Plan.
Brutal Sunday School. Stupid. Abi Delzim's Horrid Wilting.
Okay, so Don and Dell Dellinger lived up the street from us. They were our neighbors' grandparents, and we got their mail all the time because...
Don and Dell?
Yes, because we lived at 9001 our street, and they lived 2 streets over at 9001 their street. So we used to get their mail all the time. Because, I don't know, literacy is not important to be a government official.
I think you're right. You're right.
Not official, just a government worker.
Well, also official, though. Let's be real.
Yeah. They are officially working for the government. So they, I don't think, have anything to do with Dungeons and Dragons, Don and Dell. But Sunday school sounds like something like screamy metal people be like, yeah, we're so hardcore, fuck church and school. So I feel like they are going to be, what do we call this type of music?
Grindcore.
I feel like Sunday school is going to be grindcore. Don and Dell Dellinger are going to be shit that you made up. And Abi Dazabi's wilting vagina is going to be the D&D spell.
Well, you get 1 out of 1 because you did get the D&D spell correct.
All right. Okay, good.
Abu Dhabi's Horrid Wilting is correct. Now, the Dillinger Escape Plan is the grindcore band, and Brutal Sunday School is just some shit we made up.
Don and Dell Dellinger, they were a grindcore band in disguise. I had no idea.
Oh, round 2. I love this one. Okay. Round 2. Are you ready?
Spaghetti.
Okay. Cock and ball torture.
That's a D&D spell.
Black tentacles. The crowning tear.
Oh, God. Ew.
We talked about your tongue crowning earlier.
We did. Ew. That's definitely the grindcore band. Those sick fucks. Crowning tear. Cock and ball torture is nothing. that's something you made up and that you do nightly with your daily and nightly and ever so rightly, as they say on Scrubs.
Yeah.
And then the middle one is, what is it again?
Black tentacles.
Black tentacles. That's a D&D spell.
Final answer. Again, you got the D&D spell right. So you get 1 point. But Cock and Ball Torture is a grindcore band.
Ew.
I know. And The Crowning Tear is some shit we made up.
Gross. That's disgusting. How could you ever come up with something like that? You gross fuck.
You should see some of these band names. It's just really something.
And Casey listens to this. He listens to something called Cock and Ball Torture.
I don't know if he listens specifically to Cock and Ball Torture.
What if he's at like a professional event and they're like as an icebreaker, like, oh, what is your favorite band? And he's like, Cock and Ball Torture.
He tends to, I think most of the time, every now and then I'll come in from being somewhere else in case he's like cooking and he's listening to some sort of this or some other sort of heavy metal music that I hate. I'm like, what is this? But most of the time he'll listen to the stuff on runs, I suppose.
Okay.
I don't know. It's not good music. Ooh, okay.
If that's the
round
band
3.
name, I can only imagine what the lyrics are.
Yeah, right? All right, round 3.
Ready.
Bones of the Earth.
Okay.
Spineless Apocalypse.
Okay.
Last Days of Humanity.
I'm gonna say Bones of the Earth is definitely a D&D spell. And
Nice,
we have
good
what?
burping.
Spineless Earth?
Apocalypse.
No. Spineless Apocalypse and the Last Days of Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Spineless Apocalypse just sounds like you reached your hand into a bag of Scrabble letters of like dark words and brought those out. The Last Days of Humanity. I don't know. The Last Days of Humanity just sounds too tame, but that bit me in the crowning tear last time.
The Crowning Tear.
So I'm gonna say Spineless Apocalypse is some shit you made up, and the House of Humanity Last
Days of
today
Humanity. Final answer?
is the what is the name of the Grindcore? Is the Grindcore band? Final answer.
Grindcore. It's like Grinder, but core.
But for your core, it's a good core
But for your
workout.
core.
Grinder.
You got all 3 of those right.
Hey!
Ow! Excellent work. All right. Round 4. Are you ready?
Spaghetti.
Paul's Broken Teeth.
Okay.
Head of David. Bigby's Hand.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, this is going to be hard.
Bigby's Hand, Head of David, Paul's Broken Teeth. Okay. Paul's Broken Teeth, I feel like, again, is just a little too out there to be a grindcore band. So I'm going to say that's some shit you made up.
Okay.
Because what I'm learning over these is that the grindcore, while they're weird, they're still kind of relaxed.
Oh, just you wait.
And then we have Bigby's Hand and Head of David. Clive Bixby.
I know, that's what it made me think of.
Juliana. I'm gonna say Bigby's
Hand.
Bigby's Hand is a D&D spell. I feel like that's like, oh, I could find this necromancer's hand in a coffin and then I can summon the dead with it. And then Head of David is the grindcore band. Final
Perfect.
answer.
3 points. You got it.
Yes.
Yes. Now, there is a grindcore band called, what's it called? Hold on. I have to find this for you. I just want you to know about this one.
Okay.
I just wish I could remember what they were called. Okay.
Carry on another.
There is a band called dying fetus.
Ew.
Yeah. Some of these band names are just... They're just.
They're just.
They're just. All right, round 5. This one's also
Spaghetti.
going to be hard, but it was fun to put together.
Okay. That's what she said.
There's a sheep in here. Okay. Dissonant whispers.
Ooh. Okay.
Discordance axis.
Discordance axis.
Axis. Dissection sphere.
Ooh. Okay. Dissection sphere. Discordance
Axis.
axis. ANCE. Discordance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what was the first one again?
Dissonant whispers.
Dissonant whispers. Okay, dissonant whispers is the D&D spell. It's something that probably like mesmerizes an enemy, makes them go crazy, or like paralyzes them for a turn or something like that. Makes them like start freaking out. Oh my god, scares them. And then I come up and go,
Where am I? Who am
right in
I?
the kidney.
Yep, right in the kidney.
Dissonance. No, sorry. Discord. What are the D words again?
Axis.
Discordance axis. And Delilah's diapers. What is the last one?
Delilah's diapers. That's perfect. Dissection sphere.
Dissection sphere. What the fuck does that mean? But what does the other one mean? Wild guess here. Dissection sphere is a no. Number 2. Discordance axis. I'm gonna say discordance is such a fucking weird ass word that I don't think you would have made it up. In fact, I'm not even sure it's real, but it does sound like someone who wanted to be edgy, and they made it. So that's the band name, the grindcore band, and then dissection sphere.
Dissection sphere. Mm-hmm.
Is the made up thing.
Final answer? 3 points.
Hell yeah.
You're doing not so bad, but you've gotten the D&D score on every one of these.
I told you I would. And what's funny is that I've never heard of any of those spells before. But it's like, that sounds like it could be a D&D thing.
It sounds like it could be a spell. A spell.
It could be a spell. I hate young people.
Stupid. All right, we've got 2 more rounds.
Oh, 2 rounds this time.
Round 6.
Ooh, Sace.
The county medical examiners. Otto's irresistible dance.
Otto, OTTO?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bureaucratic monkeys.
What?
I know this is a tough one.
Okay. County medical examiners.
Mm-hmm.
Bureaucratic monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the middle one again? Otto's extreme
Irresistible
journey?
dance.
Irresistible dance. Otto's irresistible dance is going to be the D&D spell again. That's one of those that will like mesmerize you and take you off guard and make you like kind of be aloof.
Make you dance.
Yep, make you dance while I come and go right in the kidney. And
that's what a stabbing sounds like.
Then we have county medical examiners and bureaucratic monkeys. Bureaucratic monkeys. While bureaucratic monkeys sounds like it would be a fun band name, it doesn't sound like grindcore, and I know grindcore. I learned about it 10 minutes ago.
That's true. You did.
It sounds more like a ska band. So I'm going to say county medical examiners is the grindcore band. Bureaucratic monkeys is some shit you made up. Final
answer? 3 points.
Hell yeah! That's badass.
Look at you. Yeah, that's
Is that deductive reasoning? I'd be a good Sherlock. If they're hiring for another Sherlock, I'll apply.
You don't have to Sherlock the things, though, you know. There's a script. It's written out for you.
No, I'm talking about like a real life Sherlock.
Oh, an IRL Sherlock? You're not socially
like if the town of Mint Hill needs a Sherlock, they'll put it on monster.com. We're looking for Sherlock.
ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter, yep.
All right, one final round.
All right.
My favorite round of all of them.
These are just a few of my favorite things.
It's so great. Okay. Gravity fissure.
I can't hear the word fissure without thinking about anuses.
Anal cunt.
Ew.
Yep. And then anal fissure.
No, for real. That's why I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I know the D&D spell does not have anal or cunt in it. So it's got to be the first one. What's the first one? Gravity fissure?
Gravity fissure.
Okay, that's the D&D spell.
Yeah, that was a bit of a giveaway.
Oh, and then it's just anal fissures or anal cunt. Anal cunt's the band.
Yep. Okay.
But it's terrible for SEO because it's just going to come with Pornhub. And then anal fissures is not something you made up. It's a very real thing, but you put it in here.
That's some shit I made up. It's the made up one.
Right.
Final answer?
Final answer.
You got 3 points.
Yeah.
You got all of them right except 1 and 2. Those are the only ones that you mixed up the band and the made up.
Hell yeah.
Mike.
So
Way
I got
to
15, 16, 17
robots.
points. 17 out of 21.
That was 3, 6, 9. Damn you. Fine. 3, 6, 9. 12, 15, 16, 17.
Hell yeah.
17 points. And you only missed 4 points. You did
all
a
the
very
D&D
good
spells.
job.
All them
All
D&D,
D&D spells.
Take that, Trevor. Trevor Bettis.
Yeah, Trevor Bettis. You better be
Batatis.
listening. La, 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 la.
That was good. Good choices. Weird
was a fun
bands.
game.
Weird bands.
Super weird bands. I've never ceased to be amazed.
I really want to see like you and Casey go to like an art gallery and like your company has like a Christmas party there and everyone's like all dressed up in like business or not business, like they're actually dressed up, maybe tuxes or suits, dresses.
Something
and you're all just gathered around
smart,
painting.
casual.
Yeah. And they're just like, oh my God. So I attended the symphony last week and they were playing, Mozart's blah, 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 blah. Like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. Yeah, what kind of music do you listen to? Oh, I love the band Anal Cunt. Have you heard Anal Cunt?
Have you heard of Anal Cunt? What Cock and Ball Torture?
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, Cock and Ball Torture. They were actually the same guys from Cock and Ball Torture, but...
They decided to move away from the cock and the balls, make it a feminine private part, but keep the butt. Butts are universal.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's so fun.
That's
so stupid.
Wonderful.
Grindcore.
Grindcore. Trogdor, that's what I'm trying to say. Trogdor! Burninating the countryside, burninating the peasants.
Burninating?
Trogdor!
Is this Jack Black's band?
No, this is from homestarrunner.com. It was what is his name? Strongbad.
Strongbad.
Check my email. Check my email. Have you never seen Trogdor?
I feel like I have seen it. Now that you said it was that.
He's a dragon, and he's got a big old muscly arm on one side, and he shoots flames and burns the villagers. And then they do a little animated Trogdor burninating the peasants.
Burninating.
Yeah.
Once you said it was Homestar Runner, or what was the name of the group called?
Strongbad.
Yeah.
Well, Homestar Runner is the website. Strongbad was the guy who sings it. Yeah.
The character. Once you said that, I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I have seen that. Burninating the countryside.
Burninating the peasants.
It's so stupid.
Trogdor!
All right, we're going to move on and have some honest discussion. Last week, we made up our own gender-neutral / non-gendered scouts, and it was great. It was fun. We came up with some good badges and patches, and
We did.
Papa John's.
Good badges, Papa John's.
Papa John's.
That's one of my favorite things that you've introduced to me.
It's so fun.
It's great.
It's so stupid. Oh, it's such. I love getting pleasure out of little dumb shits. Little dumb shits.
I've started to use it elsewhere, and my friends are like, "That's funny, but also let's do a different pizza place because Papa John's, they're they're notoriously racist." I'm like, but it's just not funny without Papa John's.
But yeah, because that's their slogan.
Yeah.
Good badges, good activities. Good patches. That's what it was. I couldn't remember what I said. What say you introduce to us what you would like us to discuss this week?
Hell yeah. So, Jesse, it is getting about time to start thinking. Most people right now are starting to think about, what is my New Year's resolution going to be? I know I'm going to be on a Zoom call in about 4 weeks, and everyone's going to be like, what's your New Year's resolution? Let's all drink champagne from our own homes and then talk about it. And you got to have an answer. So I started, it's time to start considering, all right, what do I want my goals for 2021 to be? I know they're going to be fucked because of COVID and stay at home and all that fun stuff that's not going away. But it's time to start that train, start that thinking. And I thought, what a good time to introduce and talk about what makes a good resolution, something you can stick with. Because I've got some statistics here.
Statistics.
60% of people, according to science, and a study that I did not care to cite because I didn't write it down, but just believe me, 60% of people make New Year's resolutions every single year. Only 8% of people actually achieve those resolutions. And when we think about, I have a list of the top 10 resolutions. I would love for you to just try to guess what some of them are.
Go to the gym more.
Absolutely.
Get in shape.
Definitely. That's number 5.
Losing a certain amount of weight.
That's number 4. Lose weight / diet. Yep.
Yep. Travel more.
Not this year.
Nope.
But usually that is. But yeah, so I think you nailed 2 of the most, not necessarily the most common because they were number 4 and 5 on the list, but the ones that I hear all the time are, go to the gym, lose weight, blah, blah. It's all about being healthy.
Eat better. Yep.
Here's the list of 10. Number 1 surprised me. Here's a list of top 10 resolutions. Number 1 will surprise you. Number 1 is actually doing my New Year's resolution. All these people out there being witty.
Yeah.
My resolution is to actually do one. Number 2, try something new.
Yeah.
Yep. Number 3, eat more of my favorite foods.
That's good. I like that one.
And then we've already mentioned number 4 is lose weight or diet. Number 5 is go to the gym. Number 6, be happier / have better mental health.
I like that.
Number 7, just all around, just be more healthy. Number 8, be a better person. Number 9, upgrade my technology. And number 10, stay motivated.
I like it. Yeah. For my New Year's resolutions, what I used to do, and pretty much do every year, is at the end of the year. So in December, I look back at what I have done or accomplished in a year, and I say, that was my New Year's resolution. That's how I do it.
I want to sit on my couch and work 4 days a week from home. I did it.
I did it. Boy, howdy. It took me 2 months to get started, but after that, I did it.
Very good. So,
by George.
So those are the most common New Year's resolutions, according to the Internet, Science, and Artificial Intelligence. But
I love science.
As we mentioned, those 10 New Year's resolutions, only 8% of people actually end up going through with them. So how can we make those better? What can we do to make better resolutions that we can stick with?
Make them at the end of the year.
I have an idea. What did you say?
Make them at the end of the year.
Make them at the end of the year. I have an idea that I would like to introduce, but But I would love to, before I introduce this and kind of steer the conversation in a certain way, I would love to know if you had other things that you had thought of, like how do you make a more attainable New Year's resolution?
That's true. I don't know. You
don't have to have anything on the spot if you don't.
I came up with, now I might have misread your text, but I came up with a few New Year's resolutions.
Good.
Is that what I was supposed to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to get to those.
Now, to make a good New Year's resolution, you probably have to actually have a goal that you actually want to achieve.
Yep.
Right?
That's
and it
very
seems
important.
to me that, I mean, that's the whole point of one. But I guess if only 8 people are following through, then that's a whole hell of a lot of people that make them and maybe didn't have the convictions to, maybe they didn't want it enough or something.
But I think
Or
you're
they
onto
get
something there
tired.
where it's like actually having a goal.
Yeah.
Wouldn't like number 7, be more healthy.
Like, what is that?
What does that mean? That,
Exactly.
Like healthy as a word literally means like nothing. It's not anything specific. And even
It's like, how are you going to do that?
Right. We were doing the Ring Fit Adventure Switch game. There was an Affable Idiots Ring Fit thing that we did for 100 days. And the 6 of us together, Holden was one of them. He said on our 30-day check-in, he's like, you know what? When I started, I just like, my goal was I want to do this more. I don't really have like a specific number that I'm really interested in. And at 30 days, he was like, that was kind of a mistake. I didn't give myself a specific number or anything like that. And at the end of it, I didn't end up doing pretty much any of it. So I think you're right. Like actually having a goal, a defined goal is important.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes for certain things, as far as like, for example, just the goal that maybe Holden could, the Ring Fit Challenge, that's an exercise thing?
Yeah, it's a Switch game with a ring, with a Pilates ring, and you can do a bunch of different exercise and stuff like that with it in the game.
Okay. And he didn't set a goal for like how many days he wanted to do it, or?
Right. So a lot of us were setting goals like, I would love to lose blank amount of pounds. I would love to do this on a regular basis for 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I would love to, whatever our goal was.
Okay, perfect.
And he was just like, I just want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like, that can be, I think that might not be, that would be less of a resolution and more of an interest, right? Like, I want to try this. I want to do this. And it's like, okay, great. And then once you've tried it, you could maybe then, make a resolution. But yeah, like if you don't have a goal, I think you should set realistic goals as well. Because like for people wanting to lose weight, depending on how much they want to lose, I think you have to think, is this a feasible, reasonable amount to lose in a year? Right. Or is your goal going to be set like over the next 2 years or whatever, just depending on what you're looking to do. But I think, yeah, you have to set yourself, and like what you did, and I think are doing again this coming year, about like working out a certain number of days out of the whole year.
Right.
Like setting goals like that, things that you can actually track progress on, is huge, because if you don't have something you can track progress on, you can't see your progress. And a lot of maintaining these things is being able to see where you started and where you are now.
Yeah. You were hitting on a lot of things that I wanted to bring up as part of this discussion. So I think let's go ahead and transition to it. Have you ever heard of SMART goals? It's an acronym.
I don't think so.
It's usually something that's framed around like professional development, or companies might use it to say, all right, what are our goals for this year? And we want to increase traffic. We want to increase usage of our product, whatever it might be. But I think that it's also something that any kind of life goals, I think it applies well to. So SMART is an acronym. It's an acronym, and it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. I'm going to talk about each one of those real quick. But I think those are all really important things whenever you are actually trying to achieve something and you want to put pen to paper and figure out how you're going to do it. That if you make it something that is SMART, then you have a much higher chance of following through with it.
Yes.
The good news is when it comes to New Year's resolution, the time-bound, give yourself a timeline or a deadline, that's built in.
Yeah.
You're 20% of the way there. You have 1 year.
You've done it.
Designers, you have a year. Make it work. So let's go through this real quick and just talk about each one of them, and then I want us to get into what our resolutions might be and how we might make them SMART. So specific, the S, specific. We've already talked about this. Like, actually define something, whatever your goal is. Be more healthy means nothing. If it is eat better foods for me, or eat more vegetables, or
is it
work
be
out
more healthy mentally? Or
absolutely.
is it just
Seek
like
counseling
eat less
whenever I need it.
ice cream? You know,
Right.
it could be what is healthy to you, you know?
Right. So set those actual numbers with real deadlines. Be specific about what it is that you are trying to achieve. And then I think the next one here is maybe the most important, measurable. They need to be measurable things. And this is important because, especially as you are doing this along an entire year, there are going to be times when you get burnt out, or times when you feel like you're not making progress when you want to, or especially if you're like losing weight is a thing, or gaining muscle, or whatever it might be. There are going to be times when you hit plateaus. So if you are measuring this, there's still like data and numbers to tell you, hey, you are progressing, you are succeeding, even though it might feel like you're standing still.
Yeah.
So make sure your goal is trackable. So for instance, like the be more healthy, like as we kind of talk about how we make that more smart, measurable might be, okay, I want to eat 50 calories of vegetables every single day, 5 days a week. So make it something measurable that you can say, yes, I did or did not achieve this.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
that's really important. And then attainable. So the A in SMART is attainable. So you want to make sure that it is something that is like actually possible for you, but also a little bit challenging. You want to push yourself a little bit, make it something that's slightly outside of your reach.
Yep, definitely. And don't reach too far. Don't overreach.
So that's
is
the R.
what I'm getting
Be
at.
realistic. Yeah, don't overreach. You know yourself, know what you're capable of, know the environmental factors that are going to limit you this year with COVID coming up. So if you want your thing to be like, I want to gain 20,000 pounds worth of muscle and be able to do this, this, and this, but you know that you don't have access to a gym, well, you might need to be a little bit more realistic about your goals.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then, of course, the T is be time-bound. So actually give yourself a deadline rather than just saying, oh, I want to learn guitar, and then you're just like, but by when? And then everyone's
And
procrastinating.
what does it mean to learn guitar exactly?
Right, exactly. I want to know how to play 5 songs that I like by the end of March.
Yeah, because like, okay, I want to learn to play guitar. Well, I learned 5 chords. Done. Like that's, you've got to set. Yeah, and exactly. There's, I love it. You gotta be able to do all of these, all the smart letters.
All the smart letters. So that's an idea. It's not like the be all end all of goal making, but it's just one philosophy around when you make a goal, make it a smart goal. That way it's easier to achieve.
Yeah.
So I wanted then to take that thought of smart goals and talk about what our New Year's resolutions are.
Let's do it.
As we go into the new year. So I have 3, and it sounds like you came up with a few yourself as well.
I have at least 3, but they're all sort of around the same concept.
Gotcha. Yeah, 2 of mine are related. But why don't you start with one? What's one of your resolutions?
To finally figure out where Casey and I want to move.
Ooh, that's right, because you're wanting to move. Yeah, your goal is not to move this year necessarily, but to figure out where you want to move, right?
No, the goal is to move this year.
Oh, okay.
The goal is to move by the end of June, beginning of July, which might get pushed. We might have to push it and see if we can do month to month where we live now because of COVID.
That's when your lease is up?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now, all the rest of my goals are contingent upon us moving this calendar year.
Yeah.
Which is what we're gunning for because it's possible. And hopefully it will happen. This is what I want though. But in order to get the other things, we have to figure out where we're going to move. And that's so far is the hardest part.
Okay. So you've got time bound. You've got specific. I want to know by this date where we're going.
Yep.
It's obviously realistic because you guys can do it. It's attainable.
Mm-hmm. And I'm timing
How are you measuring
this year. So the knowing so I would like to, because I hadn't thought about that for this specific knowing where.
Yeah.
I think I would like to know where we're moving by the end of February. I'll give it till then, because we've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it and not doing the work yet.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
think
hard
one of
to
the
do
ways,
the work because
one of the ways you could measure that too is, and it's not something you have to have an answer for right now, obviously, but one of the ways you can measure that is say, okay, well, what do we need to know about a place before we move to it? Do we need to know about schools?
Yeah.
Do we need to know what the average income is in that neighborhood? So
work
that we can match that?
opportunities
Work
for myself
yeah.
and for him in his field, since he's going to be the primary breadwinner, what with being a PhD and all.
Food.
A food pretty hard dick. Stupid.
Okay. Cool. That's a good goal. I like that. It's also a big life change.
Yeah. And then my next goal is to buy a house.
Ooh. You're looking to buy a house this year.
Buy a house. Yeah.
All right.
That's what we want to do this year.
This year being 2021.
Right. Now, that is, of course, entirely contingent upon us being able to determine and buy a house within this time frame, within this year, because some of the places we're looking at, Casey hasn't been to. I pretty much said we're looking at like the Asheville, North Carolina area. Casey hasn't been there, but he knows there's a lot going into it. He knows like that, or thinks that he would like that area, and it's a lot. You know, we would fit in well there in with the whole vibe of Asheville. And we're also looking at the Pittsburgh area, and he's from there, and I've been there, and I know it a little bit. So we're trying to decide between these two, but because he's never been to Asheville, it's very hard for us to make a decision. But then within that, we have to think about job opportunities for him. There aren't a ton of universities in Asheville, so we'd have to think like, okay, does he even want to work at a university? Or, which I don't think, which we've talked about that, but then, okay, are there opportunities where he could just work from home, which is what he's been doing? And so that's really one of the main things. But there would be more work opportunity for him in Pittsburgh because there are there's Carnegie Mellon, Pitt, Duquesne. There's at least 3 universities right there.
Duquesne.
So that's like the biggest part of it. And then once we know where we want to live, I think finding a house to buy probably won't prove to be super difficult. Although it might, because COVID's going to get in the way. I mean, COVID is really what's screwing it up.
My sister just bought a house in the beginning of November. And
that's right.
Her interest rate was like...
Interest rates are so low right now.
I know. It was like 2.4 or something like that as a fixed rate for 30 years. And normally it's like 8 or 9 or 10%. And so she's... Yep.
Which is another reason we want to buy a house this year.
Yeah.
While interest rates are really low.
So that's good. So obviously that you can't do much. You can't measure much until you figure out the city you want to go to as far as like buying a house in that city.
Exactly.
But you could do things like I want to save X amount per month for a down payment, or I want to look into, make sure I look into down payment assistance or whatever it might be that you're looking to.
Yep.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last thing is to buy a car. We're thinking we're going to start with one car. I would also like to get proposed to this year.
Very good.
I have expressed that I would like to at least be engaged before we leave this city. But
if you move into the same home and you buy one together and you're not engaged, you are a sinner.
A sinner. I just want to, I'm just like, it's not even that I'm like, I don't want to I don't want to go buy a house and not even be engaged. I'm just like, 32. He's 38. We've been together over 2 years. Lock it down.
We have a dog together.
We have a daughter. A
dog
daughter. She doesn't want to be a bastard anymore.
Well, she's born a bastard. I don't think that's something that goes away.
I can't believe you just said that about my dog.
Well, if the dog booty fits.
So those are my goals. Now,
So
the engagement isn't really one of them.
Let's talk about engagement and being realistic.
Everybody knows it's not going to happen, Jesse.
But what are some measurable things you could do? Okay, you could sleep with him 4 times a week at least. You could
I sleep beside him every night. 7 nights a week.
I could stop farting under the covers. I could. Things that will get you closer to that goal.
I could wear more makeup. I'm kidding.
Yes.
I could bathe more. I could stop bathing.
Ooh. People are into that.
It's like one of those things where it's like I'm not going to stop eating. You know, Gandhi stopped eating until he got
justice or whatever Gandhi was looking for. Yes.
I'm going to stop bathing.
I know that's your get engaged is not like an actual goal for you.
No,
I mean it's something that you would like to happen, but it's not a goal. It's a little tongue in cheek. But that does bring up an interesting thing that I think is important for New Year's resolutions and goals in general too, is to make sure that it is something that you have control over.
Yeah, definitely, because absolutely, that's super important.
Yep. And even when it comes to this is an interesting thought and topic that could be controversial to some people, but even when it comes to things like losing weight, like I want to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't necessarily have control over the exact number that you weigh, but you do have control over how often you work out, how hard you work out, what you eat. So like it is better to set goals around your nutrition and exercise plans than it is to set a specific goal about the number of pounds that you weigh.
Yeah. That's true. It's because that's absolutely true. Because sometimes, we all know muscle weighs more than fat. So if you set a goal to lose whatever amount of weight and then you start gaining muscle, you might not end up losing the weight that you wanted because you've got more muscle now.
More. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. Now that's an example that like is getting really nitpicky, but those are important things to think about. It's like, do I have control over this outcome? And if not, let me measure and have goals around the things I can do to progress towards that instead.
Absolutely. I think that's great.
Yeah.
What are yours?
My New Year's resolutions. I have 3. 2 of them are kind of like fitness, health related. The first one is I want to track my food and eat according to a nutrition goal for 300 days.
Nice.
Now, as you kind of alluded to earlier, a few years ago, I think it was 2017, I did this thing where I was like, you know what? I want to do something for 300 days in a year. And I was like, maybe I'll work out. I want to work out for 30 minutes a day at least for 300 days throughout the year. And that was really successful. I was able to keep up with it. I had a little an app on my watch. I think it was called Streaks, where on the face of my watch, it showed me my number of days that I had worked out. And every single time I would work out, I'd just go tap it once, and it would add a number to it. Just stab you in the kidney.
Oh, you stabbed it. You stabbed your watch.
So it was nice to be able to just like look down at my watch and be like, oh, cool, I'm making progress, I see this number build up. But even at the end of the year, that was like a really cool celebration. And as I was posting it on Instagram and my progress, and people were really into it, and they're like, "That's really awesome." So I think that was a good. It's specific, it's measurable. I can see how many days I've actually kept up with it. It's attainable. It allowed like 300 days. If you think about it, that is most weeks. It's 6 days a week. And it allows for quite a few 5 days a week. So you have like a full weekend if you wanted to relax. So I think 300 days is kind of a good measure to allow you enough of a break every so often. You can also say, all right, I'm going to just do every single day in a month or something like that because I know that I want to take a 5-day vacation. So
absolutely.
It's realistic because I know that I've done it before, time out, obviously. But the thing is, I specifically chose track my food and eat according to a nutrition goal because right now my goals are, I was sedentary due to my surgery for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And that on top of COVID, not being able to go to a gym, all that kind of stuff for several months. And then there's not a lot of opportunities. So I've put on a little bit of weight. I'm looking to just change my body composition, lose some fat, gain some muscle. So right now I'm eating in a certain way. But if I achieve that goal halfway through the year or my goals change, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I do want to progress more towards doing this. My goal is vague enough. I want to eat according to a nutrition goal that I can adapt and still be successful. So if I want to put on more muscle, and that means that I have to eat 200, 300 extra calories a day in order to achieve that, I can just say, all right, I have a plan and I have a goal and I know how I'm going to get there, and I just need to eat within that goal. Or if I turn out that, man, the diet that I just put myself on is really hard to do, I can still make progress towards my 300 days.
Yeah.
And
you can
as long as I have
adjust
some
it.
kind of plan. Yep.
Definitely.
My next one is do 15 minutes of mobility exercise per day for 300 days. So mobility exercise, sometimes that's like yoga, it's a lot of stretching. It's really good. My thing is I've had really tight hamstrings forever. And it's prevented me from doing like some types of gymnastic movements in CrossFit. It's also good for your joint mobility and things like that as you're doing more kind of full body motion things. And I've always used my tight hamstrings and my inflexibility as an excuse for like, oh, I can't quite get this yet. You know, just I've got tight hamstrings. Or I can't do this yet because my shoulders don't quite move like that. So I'm looking to now make that not an excuse anymore. I'm taking that out of the picture. So
there's a YouTube guy Casey does yoga and Pilates with almost every day. I can send you that guy's name if you want.
I would love to. I'd love to try that out.
But
I used to do a service.
Go ahead.
I used to do a service called ROMWOD, range of motion workout of the day. I did that and it was nice, but it was like I would love to change it up every so often because that got kind of boring after a while. Plus, that was like $16 a month, and if this guy is on YouTube, I'm sure that's free.
He's just on YouTube, and he's great. And he's got a bunch of books and stuff. Casey loves him. He does some like calmer yoga, Pilates stuff, but then he's got some more like intense stuff where I'll hear Casey just go. I'll send you his name.
Yeah,
or his link.
I'm also really looking forward to. There's going to be yoga workouts in Apple Fitness Plus that's coming out soon.
I'm looking forward to that.
And you can set you can say I have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So you can say like this is how long I might want my workout to be today. But I specifically did that instead of saying I want to work on my hamstring mobility, or I want to be able to do a forward fold and hit this angle for X amount of seconds, like, because I don't have control over that, but I do have control over being able to do workout or exercises for 15 minutes.
Yep, absolutely. Perfect.
And my last one is a little bit more of a fun one. I want to watch one movie I've never seen before every single week.
I like
in 2021.
That's a fun one. That's 52 movies. It's
52 movies. And it's also something that I have not watched a ton of movies in theaters this year because of COVID, and theaters are dead. And in fact, I was just thinking back on it. Can you believe that Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn movie, came out this year? That movie feels like it was a trillion years ago. And Sonic the Hedgehog?
It really does.
Yep. Crazy.
Oh my gosh. Holy shit. Holy shit.
In quarantine and work from home and all that kind of stuff, I found myself, I'm not watching movies like at all. But I really enjoy movies. So
I'm watching more because Casey's getting more and more into them.
Yeah.
Oh, like, there's sometimes he's like, do you want to watch a movie? I'm like, do I want to watch a movie? Fuck yes.
You know
all I ever want to do is watch movies.
When I think about, like, do I want to watch a movie? And then I think, oh, that's like a 2.5, 3 hour commitment that I've got to sit down and watch it. And it's easier to make that commitment when you're in a dark theater and you're not looking at your phone. But, like, when you're at home, mom's like, well, do you want something for dinner? Can you help me bring the boxes upstairs? Twitter's on my phone. It's harder to make that commitment. But I will sit there and watch 15 episodes of Sunny in Philadelphia back to back. And that's the same amount of time, if not more.
Same amount of time.
But I feel like maybe it's easier to, in the middle of those, be like, I'll pause this and go up and do something else and come back and start. So yeah, I want to watch one movie I've never seen before every week. And the rule that I put on that is that if I watch 2 in 1 week, that does not count as 2 weeks.
That's good. I think that's good.
I want to become more well-versed. I watched The Godfather for the first time last month, and I was like, all right, I feel like I'm educating myself as a cinephile, watching some of these classic movies that I've never watched.
I've only seen some of that movie, I think. I don't think I've ever seen all of it.
It's like 3 movies in 1 movie.
It's plus there really are long. Other Godfathers
then
as
there's
well.
part 2 and part 3. So yeah, that's my last New Year's resolution.
I like it. That's a good fun resolution. I love a good fun
I
resolution.
love fun resolutions.
I love change.
Here's what I want the world to do. Everyone who's listening, I want you to think about New Year's resolutions. I want you to think about how you make them smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And then I would
draw us
love
a
for you
picture
to,
of it.
one, draw us a picture of it if you like. Two, if you don't feel like drawing a picture, at least just tweet it out. It's like, what is your New Year's resolution going to be come January 1st?
I want to know.
And here's a hint. You don't have to start on January 1st. You can start now if you wanted.
Ooh. Ooh.
All right, Jesse, before we finish this part, I want to wrap up by just talking about we're going to make resolutions for other people.
Ooh, let's do it.
So I have a list of 7 individuals. They're like, they could be celebrities or fictional people or so I have a list of 7 people, and we don't necessarily have to make them smart or anything like that. They could be fun. They could just be generic, whatever we want them to be. Let's make resolutions for these people of what they should do with their lives in 2021.
Let's do it.
Starting with George Clooney. What should George Clooney's resolution be this year?
I would like George Clooney to read 2 books every... No, that might be too much. 2 books every month. That might be too much. 1 book, because he's a pretty busy man. 1 book every month.
Is he busy?
Is he busy?
Physics?
Maybe he's not so busy anymore.
I feel like the last thing I remember seeing him do was Hail Caesar, and that was like 6 years ago, 4 years ago.
Well, he had
3,
his
I
whole
don't know.
tequila thing, but I think he sold that.
Oh, that's right. He's doing tequila.
I don't know.
You know, he started that tequila
2 books.
business is just like, I want to make like a unique tequila for like 5 of my friends and just give it to them as a gift, and then it became like this multi-million-dollar business.
Huge business.
Yeah.
Bless him. Yeah. 2 books then. 2 books this time.
2 books. You know what? Just because of that, you get to read 2 books a month.
You know what? Here we go. I'm going to say 24 books in a year, broken up however you want.
Ooh, I like that. Gives you choice. If you got more downtime in certain months of the year, I like that flexibility. I like that.
I think that's perfect.
You know what I'm going to say George Clooney needs to do? George Clooney in 2021 needs to do 2 more movies.
Yeah.
He's getting old. He hasn't done some things in a while, so I want him to do 2 more movies and make them good.
Yeah, not one of those I used to be young, but now I'm old movies that, like Bruce Willis and the Rocky guy. Like,
what's that one where like Morgan Freeman and the other 2 old guys are like, we're going to do a bank heist and we're 90. Like,
yeah, not
no,
one
we don't
of
want that. All right, number 2, Betty White. What is Betty White doing in 2021 other than not dying?
I think Betty White is going to... What's Betty White going to do? Betty White is going to create...
While you're thinking really hard with your face. Oh, sorry, go on. It sounds like something on the tip of your tongue.
I'm not sure. You go ahead.
Okay, I want Betty White. I want her New Year's resolution is to get a dog. Find a dog, preferably like a poodle or something that has her same hair.
I love it. I love Betty White.
I want her to get a dog, and I want her to figure out by the end of the year how to transfer her consciousness when she dies into that dog.
That's perfect. It's perfect. It's
That's
so
her New Year's
attainable.
resolution. Yes.
I think I want Betty White to create 3 new, unheard of cocktails.
Oh, you know she's a drinker. That girl gets sloppy.
I think she drinks, doesn't she?
Yep. I've decided she does.
She's not a not drinker. Not that she's an alcoholic, that's what I mean. But I think Betty White making a cocktail could be good as hell. I'd drink that, whatever it is.
All right.
3 new cocktails.
Love it. Number 3, X-Men. What are the X-Men doing in 2021? I would like to see them finally show up in a Marvel movie in a totally like I don't want it to be a huge deal. I just want us to be like, one day we see Wolverine walking in the background, and we're like, "Oh, what up, Wolverine?" He's like, "Hey, fuck you," and he just walks off. I want X-Men to be introduced in the Marvel universe in such a way that it's just like they're here, they've been here the whole time. Surprise!
Surprise! They've always been here. It's nothing new. We know who they are. We know about them. It's fine. I'm friends with them. It's fine. I know them. I've held their debit card.
I've held their debit card. Yes.
All right. I want the X-Men to finally turn Magneto back around. I'm kidding. That's not attainable. I would like the X-Men.
That's not attainable.
I would like the X-Men to. Let's see. What do I want the X-Men to do?
I don't know.
I want them to create the perfect CGI of Stan Lee to be used in all future Marvel movies.
And I want him to be every single X-Man at different ages. Yes. Wolverine as Stan Lee.
That's perfect.
I know more X-Men than just Wolverine, I promise.
Cyclops.
Number
Storm.
4, Rebel Wilson. What is Rebel Wilson doing in 2021?
I think she needs to make a resolution to never do a German accent again, because my goodness.
Oh, Lord.
I'm wondering if that was on purpose. I'm speaking, of course, of Jojo Rabbit. None of the German accents were good in that movie. They were all very bad. I'm wondering if that was on purpose.
But that movie was so frickin' good, though.
That movie was incredible. I loved it. But Rebel Wilson, I think, I would like Rebel Wilson to make a New Year's resolution to do one movie where the character is, I don't know what the right word is. I don't know if grounded is the right word, but like in all of the roles I've seen her in, she's always like this goofy weirdo that's like bouncing around, just like kind of a weirdo. I want her to play somebody more grounded and serious. I want to see what she's like in a role like that.
Ooh, interesting. I like that. My resolution for her is kind of the opposite. And it is just do 2020 again. Just do exactly what you did.
It was a good year for her.
It was a good year for her. She had her glow up. She's super happy now. She lost a lot of weight. I think she did one movie where she had a much more prominent role, and I was like, I don't really like that. I don't remember what the movie is now. But I love her as just like a character actor on the side, just being like incredibly goofy.
This wasn't a 2020 movie. This was a movie like where she,
I don't know if she did any movies in 2020.
Fell in love or something. She was like, it was a rom-com that she was the lead in, I think. Maybe. That was a while back.
But I think
I've always liked her.
She's 2022.
2020? Dose.
Number 2. All right, 3 left. Elf on the Shelf. What's Elf on the Shelf going to do in 2021?
I think want Elf on the Shelf should die. I would like Elf on a Shelf to make a New Year's resolution that this is their last year.
I like that. Just like, leave us alone. Give us a break. It's been a hard year. It's going to be another hard year. We don't need you watching us moving around our house all the time.
It's creepy, too. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I know some people love it. But I do not, and I just no, thank you, though.
I mean, the kids get a kick out of it. I mean, my niece and nephew last week were, Uncle Michael, did you know there's an elf named blah 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 at my house, and then there's also a girl elf named blah blah blah? And I was like, oh really? He's like, yeah, they come out every Christmas, and they move in the middle of the night, and every day we have to go and find out where they moved to in the morning. It's like they.
Kids love it. My nephew.
Kids love it. But...
So my nephew Troy, before his littlest brother. So he's one of my brothers has 3 kids, and Troy is the oldest of the now 3. But before the 3rd child came along, they named their elf on the shelf Chase, and then so they decided that's the 3rd kid's name now. They named him Chase. So that he was always talking about Chase moving around, and I was like, I don't know, man. That's a creepy looking elf. Yeah. It's creepy. People love it though, but no thank you.
Yep.
You can keep your elf on a shelf, and you can keep your goofy, weird, I'm pregnant photos. I don't want them. It's
Number 6, salad. What's salad doing next year? What do we want salad to do as a resolution?
I think this year salad should make a New Year's resolution to not get wilty when it's leftovers.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
I cannot
Because
tell
like
you also
kale,
how many I have bags of shredded lettuce that like, oh, I think I'm going to have tacos today. Scoot, 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 scoot. Let me wrap up the rest of this bag, put it in the fridge, and then before I close the door, it's like, I'm brown.
yep, exactly.
Damn.
It's my goodness. I like so Casey will make salads with kale a lot, and kale is good and doesn't really get super wilty. It's not quite as it was before, but it's not like once you've got like the dressing and stuff on it. If you haven't eaten, even if you don't eat it all,
Right.
kale is pretty good about not getting super wilty. And sometimes like a spinach mix isn't so bad, but my gosh, it's just like, okay, lettuce. What does a girl or boy or non-gendered person have to do to get you to not be wilty for me after I've made you? That's what I want.
I want salad
too.
too.
I have to suck. Awful.
I'm gonna go suck big salad. I want salad to figure out a way to make itself not salad anymore. And not in the way that like macaroni salad and potato salad are just like they call themselves salad, but they're not salad. I want salad, the lettuce, the cabbage, the carrots, the bullshit that's in it. And they did a good job like putting chicken and dressing and doing chopped salads. Like those are good. Like they're a good alternative
I love a good
to
Southwest salad.
Oh, a Southwest salad. But I want salad to figure out a way to make itself more marketable. Nobody likes salad. And when people are like, I'm going on a diet, I'm going to eat a lot of salad. And everyone's like, ooh, gross.
Here's the thing. Salads aren't always the better option.
Oh my God. If you go to like Wendy's and get one of their like salads with chicken, it's like 1,300 calories and a ton of fat.
When I used to work in the office all those moons ago, there's this restaurant, sort of catty-cornered from my office. It's called the Protein Bar. It's a chain restaurant.
Oh, yeah, I like the Protein Bar.
I love it. And they've got a bunch of salads, a bunch of very good salads. But you can also, there's a list you can pull up and look at all of the nutrition information. And some salads are incredibly bad for you.
Yep.
Just because it's a salad doesn't mean it's good for you.
Yep.
So for those of you trying to, eat better, you don't always have to eat salad.
You don't always have to eat fresh. And lastly, the seventh one on here, books. What are books doing in 2021?
Oh, man, I love books. I've been reading a lot of books recently.
You have? Like physical paper books with a back? Or no, you got a new Kindle, didn't you?
I did. Well, I'm reading my first Kindle book. Well, my first Kindle book on my Kindle. I read a Kindle book on Casey's Kindle before I got my Kindle. How many times can I say Kindle in a segment?
Sponsored by Amazon.
But I just finished Dune a couple of nights ago.
Ooh, yeah.
It was good. I think
the Dune is, as along with all the rest of the WB movies, is coming to HBO.
Yeah, and the AMC CEO was pissed.
Yeah. I'm excited because I'm glad that they're no longer delaying movies and we're finally being able to watch them. But also, like, I really want to see Dune in IMAX. Like, that movie's going to be dope.
That movie's going to be so good. I'm curious how close to the book they'll follow. Apparently, the original one that was made in, like, 1984, people hated it. It was, I don't know why. I mean, it just wasn't good. But also, there was so much that was different. Just from the preview I saw of that one from the book. But also, my gosh, the book. The book was good. For those of you thinking about reading Dune, it's good. But the first 2/3 of it, it's just like...
That's a significant percentage.
I know, seriously. But the book itself is 617 pages. At least in the format and, size of the book that I read. So the first 400 pages, maybe the first half of it, was just like, okay, we know where this is going. We know what we're leading up to. Can we please just get there? And then it got there. And then it didn't finish with a bang for me. It finished with a sizzle.
Good.
It was. No, I enjoyed it.
You said the first 2/3 of this book is just all I want is to get it there, and then the last third, it doesn't live up to what I wanted.
No,
but the book is good.
The last third, it was really, really good, and it was like building. Oh my gosh! And then the way it ended, though, I was just like, I know how it ended, and they left the ending. It's a little bit ambiguous for as like where whatever. But like you know, I don't know. It's fine. I liked it. I'm not gonna read it again.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
science fiction is not my favorite thing to read. And well, this was also had a lot of politics. It was a good book. It was a really good book. Very well written, and I definitely enjoyed it. I just don't know that it was right up my alley for me to love it. Because I know some people freaking love it. But this year, I think books should make a New Year's resolution to find something other than paper to be made of.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Something more renewable, something more green.
Like solar. I want to be able to look into the sun and read you.
I want to buy a solar panel book.
I want them to make themselves more accessible. And by that, I mean, I want them to be not words on a page that I have to spend a lot of time reading, but maybe, I don't know, turn yourself into a podcast. Or find yourself a good filmmaker and turn yourself into a movie. No, I don't. I don't want an audiobook. I want someone to tell me the story of the book in a podcast.
Have different people
and maybe
reading.
Act out different voices. And then also have someone read the narration or the words between the dialogue as well.
Like have a cast. Have a cast.
Maybe a whole cast. Yeah. There you go.
And not just one person reading the audiobook. That could be fun.
There you go. Well, there you go.
It's like when before TV when there were wasn't there an Orson Welles they made it in what's his name, the Scientologist guy, Tom Cruise. He was in they made this thing into a movie. War of the Worlds. That was originally like a play but over the radio.
Right, it was a radio show and everybody thought it was real and they were like, what?
I love it. I love how stupid people can be. I love it. I think that's good. I like that.
That's the end of our resolutions. I think we came up with some really good ones for ourselves, as well as those 7 individual people. Books, Salad, Elf on the Shelf, Rebel Wilson, X-Men, Betty White, and George Clooney.
The person, Salad.
The person, Salad. Salvador
I love
Ad.
it. Well, it's great. I'm looking forward to a new year. I'm hoping things get better.
I would also love to check in at December of next year and say, did we do it?
Did we do it? Yeah, we should.
I mean, yours will probably know much sooner because you will or will not live somewhere else already. So.
Yeah, Lord willing. We'll see, though.
The creek don't rise.
Lord.
Lord,
God willing.
I am Lord.
Yeah. Well, friends, that was a wonderful, honest discussion. Please do let us know what your resolutions are. And if you'd like to draw us a picture of it, you know how we love a good picture.
We do love a good picture.
And as always, please find us on YouTube. Find us on Twitter. Love us. We love you. We love to love you. Oh, love to love you, baby. That's a song. We don't have a Dear Aawy segment, but please ask us your Aawy questions.
Send us some things you need advice on. Aawy. It's tomato Aawy.
Aawy. We would love to therapize you thoroughly and give you good advice to follow your dreams.
Wherever they
go. Lastly, we have our parting positive thought. It's a lovely image of some sled dogs
Not
running.
the movie Sled Dogs.
No, the Cuba Gooding Jr. Action thriller, Snow Dog. I think that was a Cuba Gooding Jr. movie.
He was in Snow Dogs, correct? Yes.
I thought so. I love it.
I am putting this picture on the screen.
You're putting the image up?
Yes.
It's a beautiful image. Some cute dogs. And I just got a thing that Rudy Giuliani tested positive for the coronavirus, for those of you who've been wondering. Sorry, I just got a notification.
Oh, maybe that's what all those farts were.
So I got one of those, the CNN pop-ups.
Yeah.
But so along with those dogs, we have the Helen Keller quote. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence, which actually ties nicely into our New Year's resolution conversation.
That's right. Crane grape, drink a Lacera.
Crane grape, drink a Lacera. 5 golden blings. Stupid. And with that, our show has come to an end. We love you. Hugs and kisses.
Hearts and shots.
Sharty farts. Ta-ta. Stupid.
Very good.